Hey everyone, this is Bevan with another freediving review. This time we're going to go over Buford Springs on the west side of Florida. And it's really a gem of a spring. It's quite amazing. Unfortunately, it's in the middle of a swamp, so you have to go through that. But it is well worth the trek. This place is amazing. It's a huge cavern. It's very deep. It's usually well lit. Water clarity is usually good. And it's an amazing place. When you go inside that cavern and take your first look, you'll be in awe. Unfortunately, it's extremely hard to get here. Lots of people have gotten lost, including scuba divers. But I can show you right now how to get there and how not to get lost, and you'll find an amazing dive spot. So, to get started, we have to drive first to this place called the Chesawisky Wildlife Management Area. I know it's not spelled like that, but that's how the locals say it, Chesawisky. So you go into this park. You got to, of course, stop at the Iron Ranger. You know, pay your, I think it's $5 or $6, and then keep on rolling here. So the main thing is to drive there. There's lots of forks in the road, lots of ways you can get lost just driving there. The main rule of thumb is to stay to the left. Stay on this main road, and if you ever see a fork, just stay to the left. It's really as simple as that. Now, of course, I sped this up so it doesn't take forever. The drive was maybe 10 minutes, I'd say, and maybe 25 miles an hour. So there's another turn there. Don't go that way. Just keep going straight. So the best time to go to this spring is definitely in the winter. Actually, I want to say it's only in the winter because it is a swamp. During the summer, there's hordes of mosquitoes and other bugs, you know, and the snakes and alligators are more active in the summer anyway. And so you want to go in the winter. January, February is a good time to go, you know, before it warms up. A friend of mine actually went out there during the August, and he said the mosquitoes were so thick he was breathing them in through his snorkel. It was ridiculous. So anyway, here's another little ranger station off to the right. So if you see that, stay to the left. You're on the right path. You're doing fine. So moving along. This wildlife management area is also used for hunting during the winter, so you want to be careful of that, mainly being, you know, you can wear an orange vest. See that left turn? Don't go that way. You want to wear an orange vest or an orange hat just to make sure nobody shoots you by accident. And yes, there are snakes in this forest, but I've never encountered one. A friend of mine, he saw one once, but you just got to be mindful that, yeah, there's snakes out there. But the tricky part of getting to the spring is tromping through the forest because there is no direct trail to the spring. You have to kind of know how to follow the markers on the trees because there's lots of markers. There's red ones, green ones, orange ones. I think these might be white ones. These, you know, tags that people tie to the trees. So, see this spot right here? This is a little pretty tight road. You got to kind of squeeze around other people that are driving. So when you're driving through the thick forest right here, that's when you know you're getting close to the spring. Once you get out of this forest, then you're practically almost there. So back to the trail. Once you park, which is right up here, there's a little trail that you follow. At the end of the trail, it ends, and it's just forest. And that's where you have to go off the trail and start tromping through the swamp. Now, the key to all of this is to follow the green markers. Now I'm going to say that more than once. But first, here's the picture of the trail. You have to go down that. Goes off to the right a little bit, maybe 150 yards approximately. Here's a little map I drew. Parking area, trail, and then you follow the green markers through the forest. You're roughly going somewhat straight to get to the spring. But going through the forest isn't that far. It's maybe 75 yards. But it could take you a while because you're going through mud and muck. And it is possible to sink up to your thighs if you step in the wrong place. So try to step on the roots, anything that looks dry. But it's so worth it. This is what it looks like from the surface. Nice and clear, or at least it should be. It is possible that this can get clouded up because of the weather or because of other divers. So hopefully you're in luck, and when you go, it's nice and clear. I also wouldn't bring a large group of people here. 3 or 4 people is fine, but more than that, it's going to get crowded at the service. So going on down, the opening here is pretty large, as you can see, and the sun comes in. You see all the rays of light. At about 11, 12 o'clock, the sun shines right into this cavern. And it's so bright, you really don't need a flashlight unless you need to, look in some of the shadows and crevices and things. But for a lot of it, you can just dive on in without a flashlight at all. And apparently, if you set up your camera long enough in one place, somebody's going to make a funny face. That was my friend Ben. He was great. He came with me on that trip. A lot of this footage is from January of 2015. So here's a few more shots of the opening. And this last shot, this really shows you how deep and large this cavern is. It's really something. I even drew a map of it for you. You can see get a sense of the size of this. Just floating in the middle of the room, puts me in awe. So this is what it looks like going straight down to the bottom. So just for some depth lens marks, you have the first ledge here at about, I'd say 20, 25 feet. And then you got the second ledge right there. That is about 45 feet. Once you pass this, it's pretty much just a cliff straight down to the bottom. And the bottom is declined. It's not level, as I saw in my drawing. And you'll see that there still is some silt on the bottom, so you have to be careful, not to stir things up too much. There's also a giant boulder right there to the left of Jeff. So when the sun is shining in, if you were to follow that sunlight straight down to the bottom, it'll take you to about 100 feet, because it's going in at an angle, of course. But part of the amazing thing of the spring are the views. Not many springs will give you a view like this, where you have these pretty rays of light coming in, and you can just sit there and take it all in. Some of these shots, you'll see how the water's got kind of a green tint to it, and some of them kind of got a blue tint. Not all this footage came from the same day. So, the water, conditions change from, day to day, from year to year. There's another shot for you. So as you're going up to the surface, of course, there's logs. Try not to hit your head, but hey, one of them's really great for resting on and sitting, which is that one right there. Got some nice moss growing on it, I think. Near the surface, there's a little solution tube. This is a fun little thing to do. It's a little tight though, right there. You can fit through that if you're not too big. So be careful not to get stuck, but it's a fun little thing to do, just about 6 feet down. So next shot, this is my friend Ben. He was going down. This is January of 2015. And for some reason, all my footage from that day, the water had this green tint to it, which I thought was unusual because all my footage from 2014, the water had this nice kind of blue turquoise tint to it. But you'll see the green right there. I mean, it's still pretty, but it makes you wonder. So here's another shot. This is me January 2014 going down. Same view. And you'll even see off to the right here that solution tube. What it looks like from below. So this cavern, like I said, it is very deep, but you don't have to go to the bottom to enjoy this place. You can hang around at the, just underneath the ceiling, maybe 20, 25 feet down. There's lots of things to look at. If you were to go around and explore with a flashlight, there's lots of interesting things. But of course, if you make it down to the bottom, then that's quite the experience as well. And this kind of gives you an idea of what that looks like, going down to the bottom. And of course, I'm kind of going off to the left here. So let me show you some other parts of this. So as you're going down, this is the top left of the cavern. There's this kind of crevice area. I'm not sure what to call it, but it's quite pretty. If you have a good flashlight, you can see that. You could actually swim back there, but I don't recommend it because there is silt. If you swim back there and turn around, it'll get all clouded up. Because I actually did that once, and I now know that's not a good idea. But you got that jagged ceiling. It's really quite neat, and of course all the white limestone and there's crevices like this all around the cavern, and just the ceiling of this cavern is this smooth white limestone. It's just quite neat. All right, so let's go on to actually showing the scoring for this place in terms of freediving. If you're familiar with these reviews, what I like to start off with is saying, how big is this cave compared to others? It's enormous, of course. 10 for 10 on the points. And next thing is the water clear? Yes. Well, no, not really. It's usually clear. Sometimes it's not. It's kind of hit or miss, honestly. It's pretty, but I have seen better spring caves. Is it deep? Of course. It is very deep compared to all the others. Seven out of 7 points there, no problem. Large openings, you're not going to really get stuck, except maybe that solution tube I showed you. The current is weak, so you don't have to fight the current, so full points there. It's easy to swim in and out of. It is the definition of not accessible, so no points there. There is a place to rest at the surface, which is nice for freediving, that log I showed you. So I'll give it some points there. It's never crowded. This is in the middle of nowhere, so you don't have to worry there, full points. Facilities, there are no facilities. There's no bathrooms, there's no changing stations, there's just the woods. Anyway, that gives it a total score of 78%, which is actually very good in my reviews. I do definitely recommend going to this place. Yes, it is difficult, but yes, it is worth it. The people that I've took here, they all thought it was amazing, despite the difficulty of tromping through the swamp. I would actually recommend put on your wetsuit and your gear, and then go through the swamp instead of changing when you get there. But hey, it's your choice. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and keep safe and have fun.